Gonna unload the truck.
Hey folks, yeah, at long last I finally finished this brick job. Let me tell you what, I have a newfound respect for brick masons. It took me a long time. I wanted to get the whole wood stove installed by Christmas Day. Here it is, approaching the end of February. I had a lot of other responsibilities pulling at me. A few weeks back, my old pup Andy got run down by a car and killed, and honest to God, that just killed my motivation for the longest time. Oh man, this is high quality belch. As you'll see bopping in and out. Come here, come here. Look. As you'll see bopping in and out of the pictures, this is Danny. A lot of good dogs needing homes, and I needed a good dog, so I ran down to the shelter and picked up Danny. So he's working out real well. I do miss Andy though. He was just a great guy. I buried him in a special place in the yard. I found that I'd have to just come home, mix up a batch of mortar, lay about 6 rows of brick, and then leave it alone. I watched dozens of how-to videos on YouTube that showed, how to lay bricks, and I don't have the knack for it. This was really pushing my abilities to get it done. I like the results. A brick mason would probably chuckle at it. It's not perfect, but it looks nice to me. I've still got to do a little bit of cleaning on the bricks. I've got a little bit of mortar here and there that needs to be cleaned up, and the face of the bricks, I'll clean that up. So I'm gradually getting my motivation back. The cold weather certainly added to that motivation, because I think I've told some of you before, this house has no heat. Basically, I've got a couple of electric heaters, and this was my big thing to get in, not just for comfort, but for the prepper angle, to have a means to heat my house day to day, and to heat it in case of emergency. I've got tons of trees, so I'll forever have wood. Got my old rifle up on the wall just so you can see how it'll look. Now this isn't going to be as classic as somebody's fireplace or whatever, because you're going to have this big stovepipe coming up here, and that's the job I'm about to start today. But I still think it can look good with having the rifle mounted up in there, and I'm eventually going to get a mantle put here. What I'm on the lookout for now is a nice old barn beam that I can finish up. The way that I'm going to mount that barn beam is I've just taken some all-thread rods, and I've got to give a shout out to my buddy Joe, who gave me really good advice on this. What I did is I took and drilled into the studs almost 3 inches into them. I took a pair of vice grips and then turned this all thread all the way down, so it's 3 inches into that stud, and then cantilevered across the top of the brick that it sits on, so they're really sturdy, and putting weight on there won't won't put any upward pressure on the brick. Now, what I've done with the rifle is I've also put in some all thread, but those are just run through the concrete backer board all the way in. So they're actually cantilevered on the brick and can probably easily support 20 pounds each. But for a 6-7 pound rifle mounted on there, it's not going to be a big impact. I've got a nice oak dowel that I'm going to drill out and cut to the appropriate size, and then screw it onto the top of the all thread for the rifle mounting, and it'll look really nice. Once I get all done with getting this chimney pipe, stovepipe and chimney pipe installed, I've got to go ahead and sheetrock this wall that I tore up to my left. Once I'm done with that, I'm shifting gears and going to a whole different project, which is hardwooding these floors. I've made a video or two already in preparation for that project. Then when I get the hardwood floor done all total, I'll come back to the hearth and I'll trim it out. As you can see, I've got about 2 inches at the top that's just an open space. And I can easily use a piece of trim to close that up and trim all the way around the sides to give it that finishing touch. So anyway, it'll probably be summer by the time I get my wood stove in at the rate I'm going, but it's getting done and it's going to be there forevermore. So sure, I'm not on target, I'm not on my schedule, but step by step I'm getting it done. Thanks for your time. Stay safe.